I still remember the day my neighbor Doris, she was 78 at the time, confided in me about a terrifying experience she'd had just that week. She was driving to her granddaughter's house, a route she'd taken countless times before, when suddenly everything looked unfamiliar. She forgot which turn to take, even though she'd made this exact drive for years. Her heart raced, her palms got clammy, and she pulled over, shaken, realizing she couldn't recall a neighborhood she'd known for decades. If you've ever had that moment where a familiar word suddenly escapes you, or you walk into a room and forget why you came in, you know the fear I'm talking about. The concern that maybe this is more than just a senior moment. Maybe, just maybe, your brain is starting to slip away from you. A few days after Doris shared her story, I spoke with a neurologist friend who explained something truly alarming. Certain foods, yes, foods we eat every day, can speed up brain aging once we pass 65. The worst part is that most seniors have been told these foods are harmless or even healthy. That sent a chill down my spine. Our brains are our most precious asset. They hold our memories, our identities, our ability to function and connect with loved ones. To think that the contents of our kitchen cabinets might be fueling the very memory lapses we fear is unsettling at best, terrifying at worst. Imagine what's at stake here. One day you're heading out to visit your family, and the next you're struggling to remember your grandchild's name. Neglecting this issue doesn't just threaten your independence. It risks stripping away the simple joys of life, like recalling a favorite childhood memory or savoring a conversation without losing your train of thought. And it could all hinge on the foods we casually pick up at the grocery store. That's why I'm here to share 5 crucial insights that can help you guard your mind and potentially slow brain aging after 65. In these next few minutes, I'll reveal 5 common foods that many seniors eat almost daily, unaware that these items might be accelerating brain decline. I strongly encourage you to stay with me until the very end, because the final item on this list is probably lurking in your kitchen right now, even if you think you're making healthy choices. By understanding why these foods can damage cognitive function, you'll be equipped with steps to protect your memory. And trust me when I say that taking these steps can mean the difference between losing touch with cherished memories and maintaining a sharp, engaged mind well into your 80s and 90s. What I'm about to share isn't just hearsay or personal opinion. Neurologists and leading cognitive researchers are speaking out about these risks. Over the past decade, countless seniors have volunteered for studies that track diet and cognitive performance. The findings are clear. Certain ingredients appear to speed up cognitive decline by fueling inflammation and disrupting our brain's delicate chemical balance. You need to know which items are the worst offenders so you can steer clear or at least limit how frequently you consume them. Before we dive into this list, let me ask a small favor. If you find this information useful by the end of the video, go ahead and leave a comment. Even something simple like 1 or "I'm here" helps me understand which topics really matter to you. It also encourages me to create more content that can make a meaningful difference in your life. And if you haven't subscribed yet, take a moment to do so now, so you never miss any tips on keeping your mind and body healthy. Let's start by exposing the first of these 5 foods that a surprising number of people over 65 continue to eat, sometimes even several times a day, without suspecting the toll it might take on their memory and clarity. Number 1, the deceptive cereal bowl. It may come as a shock to hear this, but that healthy bowl of cereal you might enjoy each morning could be sabotaging your brain health. For decades, we've been told that cereal is part of a balanced breakfast. Remember those catchy commercials from the 70s and 80s, showing happy families starting their day with a big smile and a bowl full of crunchy flakes? Back then, it felt like if you ate cereal, you were doing the right thing for your body. But times have changed, and so has our understanding of nutrition, and not all cereal is the wholesome choice we once believed. Many seniors still believe that cereal fortified with vitamins and minerals gives them a head start in the morning. After all, how could something that claims to be whole grain or packed with vitamins be harmful? But the reality is quite different, particularly for cereals loaded with added sugar and synthetic ingredients. Even cereals that claim to be heart healthy may contain hidden amounts of sugar and refined carbohydrates. These refined carbs lead to sudden spikes in blood sugar, followed by sharp crashes. Over time, repeated sugar highs and lows can contribute to chronic inflammation, and emerging research in neurology links chronic inflammation to faster brain aging and cognitive decline. I think of Harriet, age 72, who loved her morning cereal routine. She always went for a brand that touted itself as natural, believing it was good for her energy levels. But Harriet started noticing how often she'd forget little things throughout the day, where she left her keys, a friend's name in conversation, or even whether she'd taken her morning medication. She shrugged it off as normal aging until her nephew, a nutrition student, looked at the ingredient list on her favorite cereal box. Not only was sugar listed in multiple forms, cane syrup, molasses, maltodextrin, but there were preservatives too. Harriet never suspected these cereals might be triggering inflammatory responses in her body, potentially affecting her brain. The surprising truth, even cereals marketed as high fiber and low fat can be packed with hidden sugars or artificial additives that spike insulin levels and promote systemic inflammation. When repeated day after day, those tiny spikes add up. This isn't about never enjoying a bowl of cereal again. It's about choosing the right type and being mindful of the ingredients. Whole, unsweetened oats, for example, or cereals with zero added sugar and very few ingredients are much safer bets. Better yet, you can opt for a quick omelet loaded with vegetables or a nutrient-dense smoothie made with leafy greens and berries, which truly helps support your cognitive function. If you can pivot to a breakfast that has less sugar and more protein or healthy fats, think eggs, avocado, whole fruits, you'll notice a real difference in your daily clarity and energy. Seniors who have made this switch often report fewer mid-morning crashes, steadier moods, and less of that foggy feeling that can descend on you by noon. The emotional benefit here is straightforward but powerful. By avoiding these sugar-laden cereals, you reduce the chance of those unsettling moments when you forget an appointment or mix up your grandchildren's names. You get to maintain the confidence that comes from feeling mentally on top of things, which can be essential for preserving independence and self-respect in your golden years. Number 2, the high-sugar fruit juice trap. Ready for another shock? That fruit juice in your fridge, even the kind labeled 100% juice with pictures of fresh fruit on the carton, might be doing more harm than good for your brain. For years, we were told to drink our orange juice for vitamin C and have a glass of apple juice for natural sweetness. But new insights show that fruit juice, even 100% juice, often contains a surprisingly high concentration of sugar, minus the protective fiber found in whole fruits. This sugar overload contributes to glycemic spikes that can expedite cognitive decline over time. A lot of seniors assume that because fruit juice comes from nature, it's automatically healthy. They may even drink multiple glasses a day, believing they're flooding their bodies with vitamins. But take, for example, Oliver, who is 79 years old and very conscious about his diet. Every morning, Oliver had a tall glass of orange juice, thinking it was a virtuous choice. Over the years, he developed borderline high blood sugar levels. His doctor warned him about the risks of type 2 diabetes and how unmanaged blood sugar issues have been linked to poorer cognitive performance. Suddenly, Oliver realized his seemingly innocent morning drink was part of the problem. The reality is that when you remove the fiber from fruit, you're basically left with fructose and some vitamins. That fiber is essential. It slows the absorption of sugar, helps keep insulin levels steady, and feeds beneficial gut bacteria. Without fiber, your body is bombarded with a swift, concentrated sugar hit. Emerging neurological research suggests repeated sugar spikes may hasten the buildup of damaging protein plaques in the brain, associated with conditions like Alzheimer's disease. Think of sugar spikes as tiny assaults on your brain's delicate wiring. These assaults might feel minor in the short term, but over time, they accumulate, wearing down essential cognitive pathways. One practical step: swap out your juice for whole fruit. Instead of a glass of orange juice, eat an actual orange. Enjoy the satisfaction of peeling it, savoring the segments, and letting that natural fiber work its magic to stabilize blood sugar. If you really want a juice-like beverage, blend a whole orange with water and maybe a handful of spinach or kale. This way, you're including the pulp and fiber. By making this simple switch, You slow down the body's sugar absorption and reduce dangerous insulin spikes. The emotional payoff goes beyond just controlling blood sugar. When your brain isn't constantly fighting the ups and downs of elevated sugar levels, you experience more steady mental clarity and a greater sense of calm. That sense of calm can help you stay present in conversations. Remember the punchline to a favorite joke, or confidently plan your weekly errands without worrying you'll forget something crucial. If you're still here and finding this information helpful, please let me know in the comments by typing 2. It's a small action, but it tells me you're committed to protecting your brain and want more content like this. And if you haven't already, subscribing now ensures you'll never miss valuable health insights tailored for your needs. Let's move on to the next culprit, which might seem healthy on the surface but can sneakily drain your brain power over time. Number 3, processed meats and sandwiches. Brace yourself for a statement that may go against your usual lunchtime routine. The processed meats you might load into a sandwich, things like deli ham, salami, bologna, and even turkey slices, can be quietly harming your cognitive function. For ages, we were told a sandwich was a quick, straightforward lunch option. But beneath that simplicity lies a cluster of chemicals, nitrates, and excessive sodium that are anything but friendly to a mature brain. Most of us grew up thinking of a sandwich as the easiest meal around. It's what parents packed for school lunches and what many workplaces offered in the cafeteria. So it's no wonder seniors rely on sandwiches, especially when cooking a big meal feels like a chore. They assume that a slice or two of lean turkey or ham is a lighter choice than a big steak. But processed deli meats are loaded with nitrates, preservatives that extend shelf life and enhance color, making the meat look fresher than it really is. Nitrates, once in the body, can form compounds known to promote inflammation and even potentially damage cells over time. Excessive sodium also taxes the cardiovascular system, and poor heart health is closely tied to poor brain health. Let me share the story of Geraldine, who is 76. She'd have a turkey sandwich for lunch nearly every day, convinced it was a healthy meal. Over time, she noticed her blood pressure crept upwards, and with it came mild but persistent headaches and bouts of brain fog. Her doctor mentioned that high sodium intake from processed foods could be a factor. Geraldine thought, "I barely add salt to my meals. How can that be?" Then she realized all the salt hidden in her deli turkey, which she had never considered. By switching to grilled or baked chicken breast that she prepared herself and slicing it at home, Geraldine dramatically reduced her sodium and soon found her headaches subsiding along with that midday foggy feeling. The surprising reality is that even low-sodium processed meats still contain various additives. Researchers have flagged nitrates as potential neurotoxic contributors, especially in older adults. When your brain is under chronic low-level assault from chemicals and high sodium, it can't perform at its best. Think of it like trying to read a book in a room full of static and noise. Your brain's ability to focus and recall information is diminished because it's preoccupied with the stress these additives create. So what can you do? If you love a sandwich, consider cooking a larger portion of fresh meat, like chicken breast or lean beef, earlier in the week. Slice it up and store it for use in sandwiches. If meat's not your preference, you might explore alternatives like hummus with fresh vegetables, or a sandwich made with lightly mashed beans, lettuce, tomatoes, and a drizzle of olive oil. These options give you protein, nutrients, and flavor without the chemical additives. You'll likely notice your mind feels sharper, especially in the afternoon when many seniors experience energy slumps. Picture the freedom that comes with consistently clear thinking. No more misplacing items, no more struggling to finish your sentences, and no more embarrassing moments when a word you know just won't come to mind. It's an amazing feeling, and shifting away from processed meats is one small but vital step toward that kind of mental freedom. Number 4, hidden trans fats in baked goods. This next point might make you look at your pantry with newfound suspicion. We're talking about trans fats, the kind often lurking in baked goods like biscuits, pastries, pies, and even some crackers. People have grown aware that trans fats are bad for heart health, but few realize the direct link between trans fats and cognitive decline. For decades, food manufacturers used partially hydrogenated oils to extend shelf life and improve flavor. Cookies would stay crispy, Crackers would maintain that satisfying crunch, and pies could remain fresh for weeks. We got used to the taste and texture, without really questioning the hidden cost to our health. Even though many guidelines now advise cutting trans fats, they can still show up in certain processed foods, listed under deceptive labels like hydrogenated vegetable oil. A typical misconception is that if a package says 0 grams trans fat, it must have none. The truth is, products can claim 0 grams if they contain less than 0.5 grams per serving, which can add up if you eat more than one serving. Take the story of David, age 81. He had a sweet tooth and loved the convenience of store-bought cookies and pastries. He rarely baked them himself, preferring the instant gratification of opening a box. Over time, David noticed his short-term memory worsening, and he struggled with decision-making. Things like figuring out his monthly bills or even following the plot of a TV show. At first, he chalked it up to getting older. However, after attending a local health seminar, he realized that the baked goods he ate daily contained partially hydrogenated oils. He decided to cut them out, opting for homemade alternatives or brands that explicitly stated no hydrogenated oils. In a few months, David felt more mentally present, describing it as waking up from a long haze. Neurological evidence suggests that trans fats may harm the integrity of neurons, impairing their ability to communicate with each other. Additionally, these fats can contribute to plaque buildup in arteries, limiting blood flow to the brain. When brain cells don't get enough oxygen and nutrients, cognitive function suffers, and you experience that cloudy, confusing feeling that makes everyday tasks feel harder than they should. So what's the fix? Read labels diligently. Look for the words partially hydrogenated or shortening. If you see them, put that product back on the shelf. Opt for healthier fats like olive oil, avocado oil, or real butter in moderation when baking at home. Or satisfy a sweet craving with fruit, dark chocolate, or homemade baked goods using ingredients you trust. The payoff is the sense of mental stability that comes when your brain isn't battling the toxic impact of trans fats. By making this change, you can look forward to reading the newspaper in the morning and actually remembering the articles that piqued your interest. If you've stayed with me this long, I'd love to see a quick 4 in the comments. It helps me know you value these insights and want more. And if you haven't subscribed, take a moment now. Staying informed is one of the best ways to protect your future health. We're coming up on the final and perhaps the most surprising offender in this list. Number 5. Artificial sweeteners hiding in diet foods. Here's something that catches almost everyone off guard. Artificial sweeteners, often found in sugar-free sodas, diet snacks, and even some sugarless gums. Many of us have assumed that cutting sugar by using artificial substitutes is the healthier path. After all, doctors warn us about sugar's effects on weight and blood sugar levels, so using a zero-calorie sweetener seems like a perfect solution. But neurologists are warning that artificial sweeteners may carry their own set of risks, especially when it comes to cognitive health. A prevailing myth is that anything diet must be healthier. Seniors who want to manage their weight or blood glucose often switch to diet sodas or sugar-free cookies. It feels like a responsible choice. Yet studies suggest that certain artificial sweeteners might interfere with gut bacteria in ways that increase inflammation and can even alter how the brain processes hunger and satiety signals. Chronic exposure to artificial sweeteners may also confuse the body's metabolic responses, sometimes causing more sugar cravings in the long run. Consider Patricia, 77, who struggled with weight gain and prediabetes for years. Hoping to avoid further blood sugar issues, she replaced sugary drinks with a popular zero-calorie soda. Patricia noticed that even after switching, she was plagued by brain fog. She'd read an article linking artificial sweeteners to possible disruptions in cognitive function and decided to ditch them completely for a month as an experiment. During that month, she drank water, herbal teas, and occasionally sweetened her coffee with just a teaspoon of real sugar or a bit of raw honey. To her astonishment, not only did she experience fewer sweet cravings overall, but she also felt more mentally clear and reported less confusion during her daily tasks. The surprising insight is that your brain chemistry may react negatively to these synthetic compounds, perceiving sweetness without the expected calories, which leads to metabolic confusion. Over time, this confusion can increase inflammation, and we know that inflammation in the brain can fast-track cognitive decline. A better approach might be to limit or reduce your overall sweet intake, focusing instead on naturally sweet foods like fresh berries or a small piece of dark chocolate. If you truly need a sugar substitute, consider more natural alternatives in moderation, like stevia from whole leaf sources or monk fruit extract. Though even then, moderation is key. Think about the emotional benefit of cutting back on artificial sweeteners. You reclaim trust in your body's natural signals. Instead of feeling guilty or confused every time you reach for a sugary treat or a diet alternative, you can enjoy real foods in mindful, controlled portions. This kind of balanced approach can alleviate the anxiety around food choices and provide a sense of mastery over your health, both physical and mental. As we come to the end of this exploration, take a moment to reflect on these 5 foods and how frequently they appear in your diet. Sugary cereals, fruit juices, processed sandwich meats, trans-fat-laden baked goods, and artificially sweetened diet products. That cereal you reach for at dawn, that midday glass of juice, the quick sandwich for lunch, or the cookie you have with afternoon tea, any one of them might be contributing to an accelerated aging process in your brain. Imagine what happens when they're all in your daily routine. Here's why it's urgent. The consequences of ignoring these warning signs grow with each passing year. Brain aging can creep up gradually. One day, you might notice you can't recall the name of an old friend. Another day, you can't remember the date of a family birthday. Over time, these little slips can become bigger issues, eroding your self-confidence and independence. But by taking action right now, cutting back on harmful foods and embracing healthier alternatives, you can potentially slow this process, giving yourself more vibrant years to cherish time with loved ones, explore hobbies, and simply enjoy life without the constant worry of losing your memory. I invite you to picture yourself just a few months from now, having switched out sugary cereals for a protein-rich omelet, replaced fruit juice with whole fruits or water, chosen fresh meats over processed deli slices, said goodbye to trans fats and store-bought pastries, and cut back on artificial sweeteners. Maybe you'll notice your mind feeling sharper in the mornings, your mood more stable throughout the day, and even your conversation skills feeling more fluid when chatting with friends. You might find that you're less anxious about forgetting things, more confident about traveling to see family, or more open to learning new skills, like the smartphone app your grandchildren insist you try. Which of the 5 foods discussed today surprised you the most? I'd love to hear about it in the comments. Let me know which one you're most committed to changing in your routine, or which swap sounds easiest for you to make right away. Even choosing one small change, like replacing store-bought cookies with a homemade, lower-sugar version, can set off a domino effect of positive results for your brain. I encourage you to share this video with friends or family members who may also be relying on those suspect foods every single day. Sometimes, all it takes is a nudge from a trusted source to consider new possibilities. By liking, commenting, and sharing, you help spread knowledge that could truly change someone else's life as well. And when you subscribe, you'll be the first to know whenever I release new tips or strategies for boosting cognitive health, maintaining mobility, or staying strong in your later years. Remember, you have more power than you realize to influence the way your brain ages. Yes, time marches on, and yes, our bodies and minds naturally shift as we grow older. But there's a world of difference between natural aging and accelerated decline. By paying attention to what you eat and paying special attention to potential dietary landmines, you're giving your brain the best possible environment to remain engaged, alert, and ready to embrace everything life still has to offer. Thanks for being here with me. I appreciate the time you've taken to learn about these important insights, and I hope you feel inspired to take at least one step toward a healthier, more vibrant brain. You deserve the confidence that comes from knowing you're doing what you can to preserve and protect your most precious memories and mental abilities. I look forward to seeing you again soon, and I'm excited to hear about the progress you make on this journey. Thank you for watching, and always remember, it's never too late to make a change that can positively shape your future. Here's to a sharper, healthier mind and a life rich in precious memories. Take good care, and I'll see you again soon.